many of us call it City University of New York. I would like to recognize my Dean of the Division, Dr. Joanne Rowe, in the front. The question is simple. I have a startup in New York, and the first time I went to speak to investors, I had no business plan. I knew what I was doing up here, and I had traction, I had customers, I was making money. The question is, how would you guys as investors see somebody who comes to you with an idea, working idea, they've been in business, they're making revenue, that business has promise, but they don't have, say, a formal business plan, probably because they don't have a formal business background and training, as compared to somebody who comes into you with a business plan. I asked that in particular because a presenter here said he does not believe in business plans. He believes in showing him what you're doing, basically. So that's basically.
Do you guys have any questions before you answer that? Or you guys want? Okay, just want to answer it. Okay, go for it. What's the answer, Sander or Duncan? Whoever wants to go.
I can relate to what you said. I don't believe, from my side, I don't believe in business plans either. But what I do believe in is show me what you accomplished in a week, bi-weekly, a monthly cycle. So that I need to have some sort of proof that you're really progressing, and probably in the stage that you're in, that's at least what I'm sensing, is you're searching for maybe your channels and your unit economics. So I need to have some sort of a proof and a plan to see how you move forward in that area.
We're going to get feedback first before we go. Okay.
Well, just a comment. Sort of formal business plans are not done anymore, but operating plans are. So it gets to the operating metrics of the company and how you can organize a spend plan. So you have to at least have a spend plan. I'm going to spend the money on this. Here's what I know. Here's what I don't know. Here's what I think the cost of selling is and all that. If you don't have an idea about that, it's very hard for an investor to want to write you a check because we don't know where the money's going. So think more of an operating plan or a spend plan than a formal business plan.
Tiffany? That's okay. Yes, thank you.
Hi, thank you for being here. My name's Carolyn. So I have a question specifically about hardware startups. So we've been here for 3 weeks. We started with an idea, and in 3 weeks, obviously, we don't have a design for manufacture. We're not ready to be in a factory yet. So I was wondering, from y'all's perspective, what should we be asking investors for? When should we be, seeking VC funding? And I know specifically, Tiffany, you talked about a drone company that you've worked with. So I guess if y'all have any advice about that, that'd be great.
Tiffany, any questions before you give advice? Or Duncan, any questions first?
My question is, what market are you going after?
So it's B2C. We're designing a safety wearable, like a defense watch. So we're going directly to consumers to give them a wearable.
So what I'm looking for is what is a unique piece, right? Is it around the software, or is there something really unique about the hardware, right? If the hardware is a commodity, I don't really care, right? If we were gonna put you in touch with a couple of vendors, like I want to see how well you built out the software, right? And you could sort of stick it to like any sensor or something and make it work. So your question was when to raise money? Or?
Yeah, kind of like when to raise money, and at this point, we've only been here for 3 weeks, and we did a profound pivot to what we're designing now. So we're not, if we don't have like an app to send to you quite yet to test our beta or whatever, what can we ask investors for at this point?
So it's still, you put together a plan, right? How long will it take for you to develop the software? How long will it take, or you should at least break down the cost of the hardware, where you want to source it, just research all that information, then you get the timeline. You want a runway generally, like what Duncan said, 12 to 18 months, right? So you go and work backwards, right? You figure out all the costs and then figure out how much you need to raise.
And could they raise now? Or is there something that they need before they even start the fundraising discussions?
So we want to, so at this stage, because it's really early, we focus a lot on the team, right? Like you might not have everything built out, but is this a team that we think would have some sort of unfair advantage? Like why would we want to bet on you versus just another random group of 2-3 people, right? That's what I'm really looking for at this stage. And we're like, oh, this person has such a unique expertise in this area that I think they're going to have some sort of unfair advantage in the market. And then all these other stuff, then we can just help pull those things together.
Okay, so if the team is compelling, you can raise now and just paint the vision. Quickly, then, because we have to wrap it up.
The old news 5 years ago would be go on Kickstarter, Indiegogo, launch a program and see if you get validation, people want it. There's been enough failure that way, that's kind of an iffy thing. The more recent advice is to go to a hardware accelerator, see if you get into hacks or some others, and you can husband the thing along through there.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Just a quick comment, if I may add. I think in this stage that you're currently in, building up on Duncan's comments, I would list, let's say, your most critical assumptions, try to group them, and then have a discussion where you would like to spend the money on.
Thank you. We're going to end it by, I've asked these guys earlier, I don't know if they remember, to do a 6-word takeaway to end the panel. So in 6 words or less, to share a final thought with the group. I don't know if the panelist has come up with some. If you haven't, we were going to start with Duncan, and then go to Sander, and then close with Tiffany. So Duncan's going to start.
Tell me why I should care.
Tell me why I should care. Thank you, Duncan.
That's also my line. But in addition, I would like to ask, are you working full-time on this?
Are you working full-time on this? Thank you, Sander. And finally, Tiffany.
How will you change the world?
How will you change the world? Thank you, Tiffany. Thank our panelists. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for all the participants who came up and asked questions too.
What's your 6 words, Robbie?
Yeah, your 6 words, Robbie, as well.
My 6 words is be a missionary, not a founder.
Ladies and gentlemen, Ravi Balani, Sander van der Blonk, Duncan Davidson, and Tiffany Wang.